This video is sponsored by Adobe Acrobat. Good morning everyone, and welcome back to my channel and to this day in the life vlog, which I'm going to try to make it a little bit different. Today I have an open house and I want to share with you throughout the day some tips and tricks on how to host a great and successful open house, and also a bonus tip at the end. It's currently 7:51. I'm early. The open house is at 12, but I'm early because it's about like an hour and a half drive because it is in Orlando. I have finished packing up my car, so you'll see my signs are back there and everything, and I have my bags here, so let's go. Okay, so I just made it to the open house. I just finished setting up, put out all of the signs. Sorry if it's a little bit echoey in here. It is a brand new construction home. There's no furniture yet, but this is so stunning. I can't wait to share it with everyone. So I just finished set up the mini little mimosa area. I've got the signing sheets, the flyers, business cards, all that jazz. And now it is like 15 more minutes until the actual open house time. Right now what I'm gonna do is just walk around home. I've got my clipboard and we're gonna walk around. That you can purchase an investment property with no employment or proof of income is called a DSCR loan, or a debt service coverage ratio loan. This program is utilized by a lot of... So I just finished the open house. There are some buyers still here on the outside talking to their realtor. Overall was okay. Had like 4 groups stop by and 1 unrepresented buyer stop by. But now I'm so exhausted. I have to go pick up all the signs and head back home. Hopefully I don't hit any traffic. So this little thing, it's from Amazon and it holds all of my like equipment for content. So I'm just gonna pack up my content stuff. I was able to shoot some things, but not as much as I wanted to, which is okay, it happens. Nobody drank mimosas, so I'm gonna take that home now. I'm gonna walk around and start turning off all the lights, and then once they leave the front entrance, because they're still talking, I will start packing things back up in my car, and then I have to go pick up signs. So I just made it back from the open house. It's currently about 6:30, and before we end the vlog for today, I wanted to go over the tips that I have for you for hosting successful open houses. The very first one is preparation is key. And this is not just preparation with marketing materials, which we'll get into in a second, but preparation with knowing everything about the property as much as you can, and about the area and about what's surrounding the property, because I guarantee you're gonna get asked those questions, and you're gonna want to have those answers for the potential buyers. For preparation, I can share with you a checklist of what exactly I do to prepare, but it's doing research on the area, on what's coming to the area, what's being developed, residential and commercial, what is the pricing of the home, like is doing research and comparables to know if it's priced correctly, or if not. This is more so if this is not my listing, because if it's my listing, of course I'll know that information, but if it's not my listing and I'm hosting the open house for someone else, then I definitely want to know all of this information ahead of time. Learning about the community amenities as well. It's almost guaranteed that every time they're gonna ask, is there an HOA and what's included with it, and they want to know like what they're getting for their money. Always knowing that information, and if you're able to visit the amenities ahead of time, that's great. That way you can really have a proper conversation. And then lastly, doing research on the finishes and the upgrades. So the finishes and upgrades, if there's any upgrades done to the property, you definitely want to have a list ready to go, because those are your selling points. The first tip I have in terms of marketing is to market the open house ahead of time. I'm currently marketing my open houses about like a week ahead of time, and and that gives me enough time to promote it on Facebook events, on Instagram, on my social media. It gives me time to share it to the community Facebook group if there is one. It gives me time to order, you know, refreshments or prepare for refreshments and things like that. With marketing also, it's for me something I love to do with my listings is binders. I like to do a showings binder and a digital version of my showings binder. So my showing binders have every single detail about the property that you can imagine, and also about the area. What are the school zones, what it's around for shopping, lifestyle, entertainment, dining, all of those information, list of upgrades, survey, all of the seller's disclosure, everything like that, it's in that binder. And what I also love to do, because nowadays everything is digital, I also have a digital version of that, and I use High Note to create that digital binder. I have an unbranded one and a branded one, so I share the unbranded one that with the buyer's agents so that they can share that with their clients, so that I know the information that it's being put out there, it's correct and it is everything that I want to portray to the potential buyer. I also have one that is branded, and that is for unrepresented buyers, so that I can share with them as a follow-up, okay, here's all the information you need to know about the property, so they can recap and revisit and things like that. Thank you so much to Adobe Acrobat for sponsoring today's video. I actually want to share with you one of the articles that they recently released, and it's called From Online House Hunting to E-Closing, How the Home Buying Process Has Changed.
This article offers so many great insights and statistics on the real estate market, so I highly encourage everyone to just take a few minutes to go over it. Now, for me specifically, there's one point that really stood out to me the most, and it is this one right here. To summarize it, it means that buyers are going digital first from the moment they start searching homes online all the way to closing. And that's where, for example, what I mentioned earlier comes in about having different resources available for international and out-of-state buyers that are not local to the area, all the way to closing, where Adobe comes in and offers different tools and resources to manage the document part of it and the e-sign part of it most efficiently and quickly.
Be sure to check out the link in my description to read the full article. I want to just finish the tips that I have for you. Signage is really important, so making sure you have enough signs to surround the property. And this is not my favorite part of hosting an open house, it's definitely my least favorite, but it's very important and necessary to have the right amount of signage around the property. Create a memorable experience, some kind of token that they can take away with them to remember the property. I know we do cookies. I did a mimosa bar today. I have done little cakesicles, just little things like that. You can really get creative with this and look it up on Pinterest. Conversations. This is probably the most important. These are all important, but this one is really crucial. Asking the right questions and really taking control of the conversation is really important, so that you know if this is a motivated buyer or if they're just looking around, or if you can help get them through the next step, which would be to potentially put an offer with you. Or if this home doesn't at all work with their needs and what they're looking for, then that you can help them set them up on a search and show them other homes, and you know, that's how you gain their business long term. I have actually 2 new recommendations for scripts or book. Right now have been going through the Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents book, and I have been doing the Conversion U course, which is provided by Follow Up Boss or CRM, but I do believe they offer their courses to people that are not with Follow Up Boss. So I've been using their scripts as well, and not necessarily their scripts, but more so like their conversation starters or the way they word their questions. I really like it. So I've been working on that and really formulating the best questions and just having the right conversations at the open house. After conversations comes conversion, which is follow-up, and follow-up is really important in order to turn them into a lead, from a lead to an actual client. I've been talking a lot about Follow Up Boss and how I love it and how I use it for my business. The way I have it set up, I actually have an action plan specifically for open house leads, whereas I add a lead from an open house, that automatically tags them with that, and they first get an intro text from me, and then there's a series of emails formulated specifically to convert them into a client. And of course, actual phone calls from me to go above and beyond, because you never know who's coming to the open house, you never know who's watching, and you never know if there's a neighbor thinking of selling and they want to stop by the open house to see how you work. That has actually happened to me, that specifically, where a seller stopped by my open house and then I turned them into a seller and a buyer. And it also happened to me that it was a community, a brand new construction community by Park Square Home. The CEO of the company stopped by my open house because they were going to use our listing listing as a comp to start their new phase 2 of that community. It was a great opportunity. That's why it's always important to make sure that you're going above and beyond and you're being professional and that you're prepared in all aspects. My bonus tip is if you're interested in getting into the luxury real estate market. I honestly think that hosting an open house for a luxury listing, it's a great way to start because you can get yourself in front of the client very easily. They'll basically come to you if you choose the right listing and the right price point and the right area, and if you're prepared, you're gonna be able to gain their business. You can find this out by asking your brokerage, you know, your broker, if you're able to, if they have a luxury listing and you want to host an open house, you can do it that way. Or if your team leader has a listing that you want to host that's in the luxury price point, you can do that as well. And if your team or your company doesn't have a listing that you like that you want to host an open house at, you can always find out directly on the MLS or on Zillow a specific listing that you want to host an open house, and you can offer to host it for the listing agent, if that makes sense. Don't feel like you have to just stay within your company. You can really offer it to anyone. If you know you're gonna do that, definitely have something prepared, like a beautiful email template or some kind of like Canva design. I wouldn't say like a resume, but you know, some kind of like document that shows how you market your open houses and that your goal is to procure a buyer for them, things like that. Really want to have that ready to go so that it makes you stand out and it makes you look very professional. So those are going to be all of my tips and the vlog for the entire day. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more content, and turn on your notifications so you never miss another video. I'm gonna see you in my next one. Hey, thank you so much for watching until the end. Don't forget to check out the link in the description to read the full article by Adobe, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it after you read it, so feel free to comment below. What did you think?